This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is high stakes and wild cards. This is family and tradition. This is everything on the line. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now. LVMS.com.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. It is Sports by the Book. I'm Jeff Parles. She's Alex White. And Alex, it's August 18th, which, all right, it's a Monday. We're not even in the August 20s yet. But you know what it does mean? We're less than a week away from week 0 getting going in Dublin, Ireland with Farmageddon and a few other games. Well, we are officially in a football games that count week.
Yes, we are. No, it's really exciting. We have a guest coming on today that will help prep us for college football, and everybody who is watching. And throughout the rest of the week, we'll have some guests coming on to talk about each of the Power 4 conferences. And the game's coming up. I cannot believe it. We made it this weekend, college football.
Brett Sasankia, Pick 6 Previews, will join us about 1:30, so looking forward to that. I love talking Power 4 with Brett. His preview, Pick 6 Previews is awesome. So right, Alex has it right there. See, there it is, right in the hand, with all the helmets on the front cover. But we'll talk some Power Conference football with Brett 1:30 today. Of course, this Friday as well. We'll get you all up to date.
Right.
Fridays, starting this week, we will have 2 shows. This regular one at 10 a.m., which will be a preview mostly of the football games that are occurring on the Friday, plus our normal baseball show, at least while baseball is still going. And then at noon, it's the 2 of us. Vinny Magliulo will likely be to my left. Chris Andrews will be to Alex's right. And we'll do our usual football frenzy on a Friday at noon this year. So be on the lookout for that. Sports by the Book here on YouTube. All right, let's get to it today, Alex White. Let's start in baseball. By the way, there is one preseason game in football, which we'll hit after the baseball, Cincinnati and Washington. The LSU, in the regular season, would be LSU v. LSU.
That's right.
May not see a lot of either of those guys here tonight. By the way, Ryan McCormick has not purchased his tickets to Super Bowl 60 yet after the Bears beat the Bills 38-0 yesterday. And Caleb Williams looked really good. Granted, Bills didn't really play anyone yesterday. All right, we start in Chicago. Doubleheader for the Cubs and the Brewers. The Brewers' pixie dust run finally ended yesterday. Couldn't get that almost got the magic with the Contreras homer in the ninth, but couldn't hold on, losing 10. So the win streak is finally over.
And you know what that means for the Reds?
What does that mean?
They still have not been swept.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that streak's actually more miraculous, almost as miraculous as the Brewers win streak.
Right.
It just ended. Wow, totally forgot about that, Alex. Good point. So the Cubs did actually pick up a game on Milwaukee, which is pretty good for the Cubs, but they're only 8 back now, which is crazy for a team with who's tied in the loss column with the other 2 divisional leaders, Dodgers and Phillies. We'll get to the Dodgers in a little bit. So 2 games here today. You see the first game on your screen right now, which if you're in Vegas, so just so you, again, rotation numbers are still a thing out here if you're going to the window. This is 925, 926. This is the extra game, the not previously scheduled game on the betting rotation numbers. So make sure if you're betting these games today, bet the right game. Don't go up to the window and be like, oh, I bet the first game with the correct result. No, you didn't. You bet the second game.
Right.
So make sure you know where you're at. Horton and Peralta, good pitching matchup. I'm a little bit surprised, though, that the Cubs are open -125. I thought they should have opened right here, and the market could have taken it down. A little surprised with the pricing here. Cubs small favorite -15, even on Milwaukee.
I mean, that pricing is just based off of Cade Horton, who has been fantastic. In his last 5 starts, he's given up 1 earned run in 5 starts. So,
pretty good.
I mean, I've kind of been waiting to see if he would get hit up. I don't know if this is the spot. I'm going to take a chance and say no. He's been fantastic. And on the other side, I think Freddie Peralta's been just good enough. Now, he has already seen these Cubs, and the last time he did get hit up pretty good, just went 4 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs. I think he can pitch better here in this one. I like the first 5 staying under that 4 here.
Yeah, win today at Wrigley.
Thank you.
Is cross. It's a cross. It's 10, right to left. 81 degrees. There's a chance of rain during the day. So it looks like actually they're going to get pretty lucky. This first game, they have a clear window, and then it's just a matter of what happens with that second game as the wind looks, or excuse me, the rain chance progresses as the day goes along. So could get one game, this first game in, and then that second game might get delayed a little bit. So we'll keep that in mind here today. And then in game 2, technically, it is undecided against undecided. We're going under the assumption it's going to be Chad Patrick for Milwaukee and Jamison Tyone for Chicago. That's what we're expecting.
Yep.
In game 2. The total's a little bit higher because the wind is going to pick up as the day goes along, and the Cubs are favored in game 2 at -120. But Alex, there's nothing to be had in this game 2 until we see what happens in game 1.
No, I agree. I think that there's definitely a pitching advantage with Jamison Tyone on the side of the Cubs, but of course there's the offensive advantage with the Brewers and just how they've been hitting. So that makes it a little bit tough. But yeah, take what you want with that.
Just as always, we tread carefully in these game 2 of the doubleheaders, at least on this show. We really want to see what happens in game 1 before putting a bet out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're definitely at that point, really bullpen, right?
Yeah.
Checking and seeing whose arms they have available.
100%. We go to Miami next. Marlins and Cardinals, game 1 of this series. Cardinals just got swept out by the Yankees. Marlins lose 2 out of 3 in Fenway, but they do get a come-from-behind win yesterday, so good win to salvage the final game of the series. Perez and Liberatore tonight, -140 on Uri here, with a total of 7.5, so the Fish favorite at home.
Really nothing in this one for me. I thought there would be a chance I could make a bet on Uri Perez. I have been talking about how good he has been, but I think the numbers are just right, and definitely not trying to lay a price there, even though the Cardinals really, I mean, they've lost 5 in a row now, so they are definitely not playing good baseball. But I'm going to pass on this altogether. I think there's some better options out there.
Yeah, Cardinals with a complete missed opportunity again. The NL wild card race, they were, if they had just swept Colorado in the midweek, it would have been, all right, you're a game and a half out. They're basically in where Cincinnati is entering this week. Instead, they go 1-5 with the Yankees and the Rockies at home, and that's probably good night for St. Louis, and it really just makes this a pure 7-for-6 spots in the National League at this point. There are your wild card standings. See, it is ballooned with the Mets actually knowing that the object of baseball is to win the baseball game the last 2 days. They have a 1.5 game lead on the Reds for that final wild card spot. Mets are idle today. We'll get to the Reds a little bit later. But there you go right now with the wild card chase in the NL. One thing that did change over the weekend, you see the Los Angeles Dodgers are all alone in first place in the NL West as they dominated. They dominated the weekend. They completely outplayed San Diego, swept the 3-game series, clinched the season series as well. So San Diego now has to hop LA in order to win the NL West if that were to happen. And the reward for beating up on the Padres, by the way, Dodgers and Padres playing San Diego again this upcoming weekend, is the Dodgers get to go play the worst team in baseball, Coors Field, this weekend. So another good spot to continue this division lead for the Dodgers with Yamamoto tonight against Kyle Freeland. Minus 280 on the Dodgers, plus 240 on the Rockies. Alex's total's too low at 11. Dodgers really started hitting over the weekend again. I understand it's Yamamoto, but he has not been quite as good over the last month. Games at Coors, the wind's blowing out 10 miles an hour. It's 85 degrees. These are just ridiculously good hitting conditions. At an 11, I think that's good to the over, even with the minus 120.
That's the scary thing right now, what you just said about the sweep over the Padres. That's the scary thing with wanting to back this Padres team right in the postseason because, I mean, it's kind of been like this for a few years where the Dodgers have just had their number, so they'd need another team. So future-wise, that makes me nervous with San Diego. For this game today, I don't hate that by any means. I do think that Yamamoto's better than what we've seen and just had a couple really bad starts. But, I mean, even his ERA is still under 3. So even with giving up 6 to the Angels, I mean, his median number is still 1 earned run. So I do think that I would probably play it with just the Dodgers team total and rely on them hitting Freeland. But I can't fault you because it definitely has been more than just that one against the Angels that we've seen from Yamamoto now.
Minus 280, huge price. But again, looking at Colorado, a nice hearty 35 and 89. Hey, Colorado gonna smash through that 39.5 at the All-Star break at this point.
Pretty impressive.
They're gonna smash through it. Again, it would really be outstanding if they only won 4 games in the last 6 weeks of the season. But you know, credit to them. They could have really tossed in the towel. But you know what? I think there's just got to be some motivation. Like, hey, the White Sox were just the worst team ever last year. We can't just follow it up with being the worst team ever 2 years in a row. Hey, Colorado's got a legitimate shot to win 45 at this point, which is, again, pathetic, but it's not the worst of all time.
But just take us back to that time when we were seeing that 39.5 and we didn't want to touch it. Like, how bad of baseball were they playing?
We thought it was an accurate, we thought it was a pretty good number.
Correct.
We thought it was a pretty fair number. They have to basically double their win total in the second half in order to get there with less games left than they already played. It made a lot of sense to go at least not play it or go under in that spot.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to San Diego next. Padres and Giants. We just saw the Padres destroy the Giants over the midweek last week in San Francisco. Giants lose 2 out of 3, but salvaged the final one against Tampa yesterday. Ray and Cortez, minus 40 on the Padres, plus 25 on the Giants. This is a pitching advantage for San Francisco, but the Giants are just playing awful right now. As you see, they've completely fallen out of the playoff mix.
No, I'm with you. Definitely. I would lean to the Giants, maybe first 5, but I like the full game staying under. I was just curious where all those games landed last week when these two did play. I believe they were lower scoring.
They were.
So I kind of want to go with that route here. Nothing concerning in San Diego weather-wise, right? And Nestor Cortez, he definitely hasn't been in midseason form just yet, just 4 starts for him, but we are starting to see him pick it up. He did go 6 against the Reds, and then just 4 2/3 against Arizona and the Giants. So I just think that he can do enough. And I've been talking about Robbie Ray all year. Think he is fantastic. Think he can pitch really well here against the Padres. So first 5 under or full game, even 7.5. I think that's a good number too.
So last week it was 2 unders, and in that Wednesday game where the Padres exploded, that was the only one that was over in that series last week. Again, Oracle's slightly better pitchers park than San Diego, but we are talking about 2 of the 5 best pitchers parks in baseball with San Francisco and San Diego. All right, let's go to Detroit, and this is a humongous series in the American League beginning today at Comerica. It is the Astros and the Tigers. Of course, last year in the AL Wild Card Series, the Tigers stunned the Astros in what at the time was considered a huge upset. Boy, did we not know that Detroit was one win away from getting to the ALCS a year ago. It's Flaherty and Arrighetti. We've talked about home road splits for Jack Flaherty, much better at Comerica than away this year. You look at the standings, the Tigers and the Blue Jays have put a little distance between themselves and the Astros. Astros this past weekend, so they win Saturday 5-4, but the other 2 games they get outscored 20-0.
Yeah.
And that was against Baltimore. And they were getting perfect gamed on Friday night into the 8th inning by Young, who had been awful the whole year. One of those stranger results. They didn't lose any ground, though, on Seattle this weekend because the Mariners lost 2 out of 3. So still a 1.5 lead in the West for the Astros. Tigers have pretty much put away the American League Central after Cleveland got stomped all weekend by the Braves. Also, the Yankees sweeping the Cardinals didn't help Cleveland either. So that's the biggest lead the Yankees have had in about 2.5 weeks in a wild card chase. Minus 45 on Flaherty, 8.5 the total, plus 30 on the takeback.
If I had any faith in the Astros scoring some runs here, I would just go over. I think that both of these pitchers are capable of giving up some runs. I mean, Spencer Arrighetti hasn't been going very deep into games. He did finally make it 5 against Boston. But I mean, the 2 before that, 3 2/3 and gave up 5 earned runs to Miami and the Twins. So I definitely think the Tigers can get to Arrighetti. Now it's whether or not the Astros can hit. I mean, their numbers offensively really bad in the last 7, a 193 average and 50 WRC plus. So I'm going to stay off of that. I guess Tigers minus 145 is probably the best bet on the board. Them being at home. We talked about Flaherty being better at home. Even though his last home start does make me nervous because he did get hit up by the Twins. So that is the only thing holding me back from laying that price here with the Tigers. But maybe team total with the Tigers is the best route because I think that's the right side. I think we're going to get runs. So I think that's my conclusion there.
Let's go to Boston next. Red Sox and Orioles start a series here tonight. And we're looking at by the way, a random 2-gamer here for these 2 teams with an off day on a Wednesday, which doesn't really happen very often. Let's look at this, Alex. With Dustin May as a minus 120 favorite, Tyler Rogers a plus 105. I actually think there's a pretty good price on Boston, who again the Red Sox have been tremendous now for 6 weeks. They win 2 out of 3 over the weekend. They're 11 games over 500. Their offense is just at an incredibly high level right now. May's pitched reasonably well since coming over from LA. I think this is a reasonable price on Boston. You can even get as good as minus 115 in the market right now.
I think we're going to have to go to Vinny on this one because we got 2-way action. I don't want to overreact from what we saw with the Orioles over the weekend, but I mean, they are hitting the ball, and Trevor Rogers has been fantastic. Looking at his last 6 starts, he's only given up 2 earned runs once in those 6 starts, and he's going deep into games. I mean, he went 7 no earned runs against Colorado, 8 innings pitch against the Cubs, and just 1 earned run, and won the next 2 against the Mariners and the Phillies. So he's seen really good lineups as well. I do like this Boston lineup, so it's not going to be easy, but I will take the plus money with Baltimore here in this one.
Up next, Alex, let's go to Kansas City Royals and the Rangers. Again, the American League wildcard standings, everyone has been distanced again, but Kansas City, all of a sudden, it just, you look up and, all right, well, we're back over 500 again. 4 games behind the Yankees in the wild card race. Again, it's going to be tough now that the Yankees have pushed it back out to more than 1 series length over Cleveland and everyone else. I think it's going to be tough for the 6 current playoff teams to miss in the American League.
Yeah.
Not impossible, but it's going to be tough. Minus 125 today for the Royals with Michael Wacha, plus 10 on Jack Leiter, a total of 9.5 of Kaufman tonight.
Really nothing in this one for me. Thought I would have a play here on Jack Leiter. He has been really good. And I think the Rangers have seen a lot tougher teams than the Royals, to be honest. I think the Royals have been beaten up on bad teams, and the Rangers have been facing playoff teams. So I do think that they could get this done here today, but not enough to jump in at that plus 110. I wish I was getting a little bit more. Total-wise, I think that's just right, too. Right there at that 9.5. So nothing for me in this one.
Up next, let's go to Pittsburgh, and we'll get to the Phillies in a moment too, but Paul Skenes is pitching tonight, and Paul Skenes has now become an overwhelming favorite yet again in the National League Cy Young race because Zach Wheeler was put on the IL and really was what was jolting news over the weekend with an upper extremity blood clot.
Yeah.
And we don't have a timeline on when we'll see Zach Wheeler again, which is in the Cy Young race, to me, pretty much ends it, assuming Skenes gets to the finish line in one piece. He's about minus 450 is the best price in the market on Skenes. Christopher Sanchez, Wheeler's teammate, is now the second favorite. Not surprisingly in the market. There you go. Those are the only 2 guys shorter than 25-1. Yeah, Wheeler's futures are probably donezo at this rate. But we'll get to the Phillies in a moment. But here tonight, Skenes against the red-hot, first place, best record in the American League Blue Jays are minus 110 at home with a total of 7, Alex.
So Skenes' last outing in Milwaukee only made it through 4 innings.
He got clobbered.
Yes, he did. 6 hits, 4 earned runs. I expect a bounce-back spot for him. And, I mean, Kevin Gausman's been pretty good. And we've kind of talked about Toronto where they've just got, great starting 3. There's no one real true guy, and they're all just kind of doing their jobs quietly. And he's definitely one of them in that rotation. So I guess it's a lean to the under in the first 5. I hate that 3, so I'm going to stay off of that one. But I do think there will be a bounce back spot for Skenes. Not enough for me to jump in and bet the Pirates. So I'm going to pass.
I would only look to the first 5 under, even with it being 3. It would be the only look. Now, the only concern I have is that we know Toronto is a great home run hitting team.
Mm-hmm.
You jump the yard on Skenes very easily. That would be the one concern about going under a 3. Don't even get the hook in this one. So
Yeah.
super low on that total here today. All right, let's go to Philadelphia next. This is a big series. 2 playoff teams entering today's action. Mariners take the short trip from Williamsport after falling to the Mets in the Little League Classic last night. Flip around and take on the Phillies. Suarez and Gilbert. Good pitching matchup. Even though Suarez has been a little bit more of a mixed bag over the last month. 7.5 in Philly. Phillies are minus 115, even on the Mariners. Philly did not play a particularly inspiring series in D.C., splitting 4 games and very easily could have lost 3 out of 4. But I don't know. This is a weird. I know it's not. It's a short trip from Williamsport to Philly, but it's a little bit of a funky travel spot with the game ending home after 11 o'clock Eastern last night for Seattle. I'm going to steer clear here, Alex, even though I do like Gilbert tonight a little bit more than I like Suarez here.
And for that reason you just said, kind of makes me hesitant about my bet. But I like the over. I think we're going to get some runs here, and we saw a lot of runs in the Mariners and the Mets series. I think that's going to continue here. Gilbert, really good, but better at home. And Ranger Suarez, we've seen him, like you said, inconsistent now the second half, not as strong as where he started. Looking at their medians, so both these guys, Gilbert on the road, his median is 5 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. And then Ranger Suarez at home, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. So I'm expecting both teams to be able to put some runs on the board. I just don't like the Mariners travel spot. But now that it's down to 7.5, I think I'm going to have to take a shot there.
I don't mind that. Again, Friday and Sunday were huge over games in that Mets series. Saturday was just the young Nolan McLean in his major league debut was awesome for New York in a 3-1 win on Saturday. All right, let's go to Atlanta next. Braves are playing better. Now, probably too little too late, but the Braves go 5-1 this past week. They're 8-2 in their last 10. they're still 12 games under 500. It just shows how miserable of a start this has been for Atlanta. It's, again, 10 games out of a playoff spot. Too little, too late. But they are playing like the Braves we expected them to be over the last 10 days. And they are a big favorite tonight against the White Sox at home with Strider, who got bombarded his last time out by the Mets, gave up 8 runs in 4 innings. Against Gomez for the White Sox. Total 8.5. Strider's just not the same guy. And look, it could come back next year. His first year back after missing all last year with the Tommy John. Strider's just not that guy that he was in his 2 years ago, where he was just as good as anyone in the National League pre-injury. But now, again, you saw the numbers. ERA is almost 5. He's given up a ton of homers. It just has been a bad year for Strider across the board.
And with that, it could only be a look to the over here at 8.5. I mean, I do think we could get 9 runs here. Don't know what the White Sox, if they can contribute off of Strider, that's my hesitation. And then with Gomez, we've only seen him one start. He was great, actually, against the Tigers. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run in that one. So that makes me a little bit hesitant, too. It's a lean that way, or even the Braves side, but I don't want to lay $2. And I'm going to pass on that total.
Yeah, it would only be a look to the over as well. But this would be a lineup it would make sense for Strider to pitch well against, right?
Yep.
So it's steer clear more so than anything. All right, let's go to Anaheim next. Angels and Reds. Again, all these games super important for Cincinnati. With a win tonight, they'll only be 1 game behind the Mets, who are off here today. The Angels, after sweeping the Dodgers, went to Sacramento and actually lost 2 out of 3 to the A's. First time they've been beaten by the A's this year. Yep. It'll be a Medeiros against Singer here tonight. Reds smallest of favorites at -110 with a total of 9, Alex.
I like the Reds side here. I think that is the correct side. I think that you've got the pitching advantage with Brady Singer. I just don't love the letdown potential of, stopping the Brewers win streak. I don't think they're really going to take too much of that, but it would be Reds or pass for me, definitely. I think that's a pretty cheap price on the better team.
This is the start of a pretty important road trip where, again, it's not the Angels and the Diamondbacks are not overly imposing. They end with the Dodgers, but this is a 9-game West Coast swing. And the one weird quirk with Cincinnati's schedule, and if you're thinking of betting to make the playoff market or something like that. And again, the Mets have a very difficult schedule in September, but the Reds have 2 West Coast trips left, including this one here, which just could not be worse timing. They also have 3 games left with the Brewers at the end of the regular season, which could work which probably would work in the Reds' advantage because the Brewers are likely going to have the number 1 seed, assuming disaster doesn't strike in Chicago this week. Very easily could have the number 1 seed all locked up heading into that final weekend, but doesn't matter. The Brewers could trot out their AAA team with all the magic they've had this year and could possibly sweep that series from Cincinnati.
I was just going to say, I mean, Cincinnati was very competitive with the Brewers this whole past weekend.
Well, the Friday game was one of the more nonsensical baseball games of the whole season where I never saw the price. If anyone saw the price when the Reds were up 8-1 after 2,
right,
just tweet at me at Jeff Parles because I'm curious because I legitimately walked into where I was going. And the 3rd inning, it started. I'm like, I should jump in on Milwaukee, and I didn't. And before the end of the inning, it was 8-6. The game was tied by the end of the by the end of the 4th. It was just ridiculous on Friday night. All right, last one up. We go to Arizona. Kevin Williams and Zach Gallen. Bad week for Cleveland, who entered the weekend only a half game behind the Yankees, and they got swept at home by the Braves. And the Yankees swept the Cardinals. So it went from a half to 3.5. And it's now much harder on the guards. Diamondbacks, again, they're just playing out the string more so than anything. It's really a battle for 3rd place now in that division with them in San Francisco, with neither team heading to the playoffs. Gallen's a small favorite here at -110 at a total of 9, Alex.
And I think that's correct. I think that it's actually a little bit short here for the Diamondbacks, who have been playing pretty good baseball, and now their lineup's starting to figure it out again, fill in those holes there. So I think that's the right side. I just don't love the fact that they're coming in on a 3-game losing streak, same as the Guardians. So I'm probably going to pass. But if you made me play it, I would definitely take the home team here. I
would only look to the home team as well. Again, I think this could really balloon on Cleveland in the wrong way. They were pretty fortunate during that hot streak. It's kind of Brewers light more so than anything in the run to get back in. And again, don't see it here with Cleveland long term. All right, last thing up here before we talk some college football. So there's one NFL preseason game tonight to wrap up the weekend. Bengals and Commanders. The main reason the Bengals are getting bet is that Zach Taylor's already said that the Bengals starters are going to play the same amount of time they played last week. So you'll see Joe Burrow. You'll see everyone out there yet again. Jaden Daniels will get a series or two tonight for Washington. So I get why the market did it, but there's a real opportunity that we see both of these guys for the same amount of time, and then it's the battle of the backups.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Leads you probably, if you're going to play this, would only be a bet on the underdog Commanders here.
I'm with you. Definitely. It's been pretty profitable taking points so far in the preseason. And I mean, we just saw Joe Burrow and them. They only did a series or two the first game, right?
Yeah, but I would expect to see him for two series.
Yeah.
That would be my guess here tonight with the Bengals and the Commanders. Again, the biggest takeaway from the weekend is what I said to Ryan McCormick earlier. You should be booking those tickets to Santa Clara. Book them right now. Get them before they get out of whack. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, can't overreact to preseason. Even though, again, Caleb Williams with given time, and this goes for every quarterback, but you could see the difference when Caleb Williams had an offensive line that was blocking for him. You could see the difference. Now, again, it was against Buffalo's second team. We'll find out week 1 when they play Minnesota on Monday
I think that's
night.
more concerning is Buffalo.
Yeah, you know what?
And the lack of depth.
They do this every year in the preseason, though. They did it last year, too. I think it was 30-10 against the Bears last year in the exact same week. Something along those lines. But McDermott was not happy after the game, I can tell you that.
I did go to the Raiders on Saturday, and I thought they looked pretty good in what we saw with the starters. Ashton Genty is okay.
He's all right.
He's going to be okay.
He'll be okay. He'll be okay. Fun finish to that game with Jake Moody banging through what would have been a career-long 60-yard field goal to win it for the Niners at the gun at Allegiant Stadium on Saturday afternoon. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We are talking college football pick 6 previews with Brett Cianchia when we get back right here, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is high stakes and wild cards. This is family and tradition. This is everything on the line. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now. LVMS.com.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Welcome back in at Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. We have college football games on Saturday. So it's a perfect time to bring in Brett Ciancia of Pick Six Previews. Alex, you can show the booklet with. You don't even have to show the cover. You can show all the highlighting you've done, getting ready for this weekend. That is Iowa. That is Iowa State right out of the gate for Alex. Of course, Iowa State and K-State. There we go. Wow. Started off.
Yep.
Brett, it's a pleasure to be with you here today. Before we get into to everything college football about the Power Four, tell us about the book and tell us where everyone can get the book.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me here. Back again like last year. And great to see Alex. You're already appreciating the hard copy, putting it to good work. So, yeah, that's great. Thanks for having me. It's Pick Six Previews. It's a college football preview magazine. And the claim to fame is that the last 10 years, it's been graded the #1 in prediction accuracy by Stats and Accuracy, who grades all the magazines. So, very accurate, very up to date. It's very readable, digestible. You have my advanced stats on one side and all the written narratives on the right side. And, I'm talking to head coaches, talking to coordinators, talking to beat writers all across the country. So Pick Six Previews, we have the hard copy and the digital. It's available only on pick6previews.com. And then if you're interested, we have an in-season product as well that we'll discuss during the show. But yeah, great to be back, guys. A wide open season. Can't wait to break it down.
I will just say I absolutely love this book because while I love numbers and they are there for you and you will have the adjusted numbers and all of that, it is digestible because it gives you a visual of these teams and really just helps you map it all out. So if you don't have time for the transfer portal and all of this, you need one of these because it really just puts all the teams and maps it out, the puzzle, everything. New this year, though, Pick 6 Plus. Can you tell us about that and what you're offering?
Yeah, so everything you love about the preview magazine, but now updated every Tuesday in your email inbox. And I find once the season kicks off, it's like drinking from a fire hose. You have 60 games kicking off. I find on my computer, I have 50 tabs open trying to find all the info. So what I wanted to design is a one-pager on every team. You have all the advanced stats, all the game grader projections that I've got, line projections, but then a game log, situational splits. How is a team off a bye? How is a team against the spread as the home team? Every split you could think of going back the last 3 years. And then talent profiles too. Who has the more mock NFL draft picks? Who has more 4-star, 5-star prospects? So really a one-pager on every team, updated every week, emailed to you Tuesday morning. That's the goal with Pick 6 Plus. We got samples up there on the website, but encourage you to check it out. I think it's going to be very, very insightful for the season.
Brett, let's get to it. Let's start in Tuscaloosa. Alabama last year, a disappointing year, ended with a pretty gigantic thud in the bowl game, no less, against Michigan. But it was an underachieving year in year one for Caitlin DeBoer down in Tuscaloosa. Now, of course, a change of quarterback. Jalen Milrose now a Seattle Seahawk. Enter Ty Simpson, which a lot of questions going into the year for Simpson at the quarterback position. Bama, of course, has a tough schedule as always. It's either the third favorite to win the SEC behind Texas and Georgia. A win total of 9.5 for the Tide. What do you like there?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty big on Alabama this year. I've got the #4 in the magazine entering the season. There's a lot to like. I mean, it started in the offseason when they brought in Ryan Grubb, this offensive mastermind who has been with the Alabama head coach, Kalen DeBoer, all throughout their journey together in college football. So you bring back the brains of that offense that took Washington to the national title 2 years ago. Love the coordinator move. I like that they get to pick their quarterback this time around. Jalen Milroe, very talented in certain spots, very athletic. But maybe in this pass-heavy scheme, they want to pick their own guy. So Ty Simpson, a former 5-star. And speaking of 5-stars, this is still the #1 recruiter in college football. They're still #1 in the 5-year average, 13 5-stars on their 2-deep. Unbelievable talent that is still in Tuscaloosa. And the last point here is that when you watch the NFL draft every year, you usually see 12, 13 Bama picks. This year, only 7. That's because a lot of those mid-range guys came back to Tuscaloosa now, especially on defense. Now you got a ton of All-SEC, All-American candidates. So a really strong team. I like Alabama to go over 9.5. That's one of the best bets for me in win totals. And then I think they're going to play Texas in Atlanta. So I've got them a little higher than most. Maybe some decent value there, plus 450 at third there at the SEC to win it. So I'm very high on Alabama. That's one of my teams this year.
Okay, so you like their win total over to make it to the SEC championship game and face Texas. So you must be high on Texas. And then who else do you have from the SEC making it into the playoffs this year?
Yeah, I see the SEC getting 4 this year. I think you start with the 3 powerhouses at the top. These are teams that recruit 5 stars at every position. They're absolutely loaded. You talk about Texas, Georgia, Alabama. That's your big 3. With Texas, what I like, they're switching a quarterback, going from Quinn Ewers to Arch Manning. I think with Arch Manning, while he is a new starter, relatively young guy, I think he brings a lot to the run game, more mobility from that spot. Texas, they had some breakdowns in short yardage and in the goal line last year, and I think with Arch's legs, that might be a difference maker. But like I said, 5 stars all over the place, especially a couple All-Americans on defense, Colin Simmons, Anthony Hill at linebacker. They were close the last couple of years, Final Four back-to-back. I think they're going to make it back this year. So Texas is the favorite there. I like Alabama, like we hit on. Georgia, let's not forget about Kirby Smart's dynasty he's got going. And the defense is absolutely loaded with talent. Talking about 5 stars yet again, and they have 11 5 stars on their defensive 2 deep. That's half the 2 deep. It's unbelievable. So yes, while they're switching a quarterback to Gunnar Stockton, I like, overall the talent in Athens is unbelievable. So I'm going with them. And then the 4th spot, I'm going a little bit of a wild card. I'm going LSU to make that last at-large spot in the bracket. Look, it's put up or shut up time for Brian Kelly. He's at all the investment possible, the highest paid coordinator in college football with Blake Baker, and then the number 1 transfer haul in America. You know how expensive these transfer players are with the NIL, and they went all in. So it's boom or bust for LSU. It starts at quarterback with Garrett Nussmeier, but very deep roster. So that's my 4. I think the SEC gets the most of any conference. It's the deepest conference yet again, and that's where I'm at with the playoff.
Brett, I want to go over to the Big Ten because this looks like it's going to be a 3-headed monster to the finish again, and Oregon goes to Penn State in September, which is a heck of a game, and of course the Nittany Lions get themselves a trip to Columbus on the 1st of November. But here you go, you see it based off the odds here at the South Point: Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, all within $1 of each other. How do you think that plays out with the top 3? And is there anyone that is possibly capable of crashing the party along with those top 3?
Well, I agree with you that it's really a top 3 in this conference this year. And with Oregon and Ohio State, those are your top recruiters. But with Penn State, this is a little 1-year window where I think they can really make some noise. I actually put them number 1 in the Big Ten, number 1 nationally. They're my pick to win the national title this year. And here's why. It's a very veteran group. Similar to what I said about Alabama, how at draft decision time, a lot of guys decided to return to college. Penn State got that. I know they lose Abdul Carter, who went number 3 overall, but everybody else is back in state college. You got Drew Aller at quarterback, a pair of 5-star backs in the backfield. They patched up their weakness at receiver by taking a couple starters off other Power 4 teams. The defense speaks for itself, top 5 every year. So I like it. And lastly, with Penn State, I love the brain power at coordinator. People question James Franklin, but you can't deny what he's got at coordinator with Andy Kotelnicki scheming up on offense and Jim Knowles, fresh from Ohio State, coming on defense. So, and lastly, with Penn State, too, when they have the talent advantage, when they're favored, they're number 1 in the country. They take care of business. The last 3 years as a favorite against the spread, 74% cover and 34-2 straight up as the favorite the last 3 years. That's number 1 in both categories. So I think they will be in that spot as a favorite at least 11 times this fall. So really high Penn State. Ohio State, they sent most of their roster to the pros. It was a draft class record for Ohio State, 14 picks. So I see a little bit of a transition. They reload with 5 stars everywhere, but I see more of a 10-2 from them. They'll lose a couple regular season games, maybe make some noise in the bracket. Similar case with Oregon. Actually, with Oregon, I put this in there. I wonder if South Point has any future on 2026. Not this year, but next year's national title, because Oregon's my pick for next year. They're really loading up for a big 2026.
12 months in advance. We already got a pick for 2026. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you kind of take the Big 12 because, that's what this conference is. And if you look at the top 6 of 7, they all have the coach and quarterback duo coming back. And so it's kind of anywhere like it always is. What are you thinking? And what do you like? Who do you like from the Big 12?
Yeah, you're right. A lot of one-score games, a lot of coin flip games. I'll say this. It's my 14th year doing Pick 6 Previews, the magazine, and I think this is the most wide-open conference I've ever covered. I say that because at their media days, they polled their coaches on who will be playing in the title game. The coaches picked Kansas State and Iowa State, 1-2. For me, I have them 6th and 7th, so outside the whole top 5 of this league. it's so wide open. You could argue for 7 or 8 teams to win it. I ultimately went with Arizona State, the defending champs from last year, and they weren't a fluke, too. In my advanced numbers, my game grader, they all had the profile of a conference champion. 20 starters back. They do lose the big running back, Cam Scattaboo, but still, I trust this program and all that returning production. So I went Arizona State to win it, but then I have them playing Texas Tech. This is a team, a really fascinating story this offseason. They rallied up all that West Texas oil money and put together the number 2 transfer class in America. Undeniable amount of talent coming in. 13 4-stars. That's more than the rest of the conference combined in terms of blue chippers. So tons of talent in Lubbock. It's a matter of can they get it to gel quick enough. So that's my 1-2. Again, you could argue for Baylor. You could argue Utah. TCU is a wild card to me. I've got them in my top 25. So a lot of good picks out there, but I'm going Arizona State versus Texas Tech.
Okay, I just want to follow up on Texas Tech real quick because I have questions at the roster is awesome, but I have questions at head coach and a quarterback, which obviously are the 2 most important things. Do you have trust more so in McGuire, the head coach? I could see the path for Morton being a top flight Big 12 quarterback, but we haven't really seen it from McGuire since he's gotten to Lubbock.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting. First, with the quarterback, with Baron Morton, he's a gamer. If you look last year in the fourth quarter, he led 6 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter. I don't know if that's going to translate year to year, if that was a one-off, but I mean, that's sort of a track record there. Clutch when it matters. They put a lot more talent around him, too. I mean, you're talking some of the best transfers in the country at receiver, at running back. So hopefully that opens up the whole scheme. And then at coach, I like this guy. I got to speak with Joey McGuire a couple times the last couple of preseasons. He's Mr. Texas high school football, of course, a longtime high school coach, shot up the coaching ranks in the college level. And I think he's great. I mean, he brought in a lot of talent. I will say, talking to opposing Big 12 head coaches and coordinators, they have similar doubts as you about how quickly can all this talent gel together. It's a lot of new personas in the locker room. It's hit or miss. You saw it hit at some places like Ole Miss. And Colorado the second year, it missed some places too, like Florida State last year, Colorado the first time around. So it's hit or miss with this transfer gamble, but I like what they have. I think they're going to make a run.
Dive into Utah just a little bit because they were the one team of the top that has a new quarterback. We're moving on from Cam Rising finally. And I think a lot of us like Kyle Whittingham and trust him, but everything that could go wrong has gone wrong the last couple of years. Coordinator changes, quarterback change. What do you like with Utah? You do have them at least top 5 in Big 12.
Yeah, I got them ranked in my top 25, unlike the coaches in AP. I think that's an underrated team. But you're right. They went through some of the worst injuries I've ever seen. That 2023 team, worst injury run I've ever covered. Even Kyle Whittingham said he's in the twilight zone. I think he called it something about his injuries. Last year, it was only a quarterback, and they were down to their 5th string quarterback because the first 4 were knocked out. So terrible injury luck the last couple of years. But yeah, I like what they did. So they went out and they hired Jason Beck from New Mexico. And if you remember that offense last year, #1 rushing in America, very electric to watch. And they brought the quarterback with them, with Devin Dampier. What I'll say about him is he's very elusive in the pocket. I have a stat in the magazine called pocket elusiveness. You know, when you're being pressured in the pass rush and you got guys on you. He was pressured 100 times last year, escaped 96 times. You know, only a 4% sack rate, #1 in the country last year. So yes, it's an uptick in competition in the Big 12 compared to the Mountain West, but he's also got better guys around him. This is the #1 offensive line in the Big 12. So if you like offensive line, if you like run the ball, stop the run, this is your team. So I think they're going to grind out a lot of Big 12 wins.
Could be a very different mix than what we normally see in that conference. And we thought that when Utah went in there anyway, that it was going to be more of a, again, they've always been the best grinders there are in college football. And again, we'll see that style more this year than we did a year ago because, like you said, can't be that bad injury luck-wise for a 3rd consecutive year now. All right, let's go to the ACC, and it's all about the U. Let's go to Miami, who, Brett, they have a huge game week 1 against Notre Dame. They get Florida at home as well. Those are the 2 toughest games on their regular season schedule. There's win totals of 9.5 out there. What are we looking at here for the Canes?
Yeah, I like what we have with Miami this year. Again, they're like Alabama. They're on my best bets win totals this year, going over 9.5. I think it's still plus money. What I like about them is 2 things. You know, Mario Cristobal, you get every year with him. First, it's offensive line development. He's a former offensive line lineman himself. He always builds elite lines. It could be the best one in the country this year. And then the other thing he's great at is talent acquisition. And we're not talking the SEC or the Big Ten here. This is the ACC. And within this context, they're number one by far in recruiting, both the high school level, the transfer ranks. So they're head and shoulders above the rest of the league, maybe with Clemson in terms of raw talent. Now, you got to get it to perform. That's maybe the pushback on the Miami pick. But I like what they have. Their weakness last year was in the secondary, pass defense. They packed in 5 4-stars from the transfer portal to the secondary. So they're at least putting resources where they need it. I like what they did. So when you look at this upcoming schedule, I have them favored 11 times this fall. The only toss-up is the Notre Dame opener. And the fall camp storyline out of Notre Dame is they don't know their quarterback yet. They're going between C.J. Carr and Minchie. So I think you catch a team in the first opening game without a proven quarterback spot. They might be rotating series. It could be a mess. You get them at home, too. So I like Miami here to go over 9.5, make that ACC title game. Win or lose against Clemson, I think they're going to make it into the national bracket as an at-large pick. So I'm pretty high on Miami this year.
I like it. And, of course, you brought up Clemson there to make it. We know that they are returning a lot of guys, and Dabo Swinney now is using the transfer portal. Cade Klubnik is back for them. So is it really just between Miami and Clemson for the ACC, or is there any teams deeper or lower down that you like from this conference?
Yeah, they're the only two that I have contending. In fact, they're the only two I've got in my national top 25. I think the SEC gets 9 of those spots for me, but the ACC just with 2. It's Clemson, Miami. It's a 2-horse race. I'll throw you this, though. Without divisions now and with these mega conferences, it's so much about league schedule draw. If you're drawing the easy teams in the league or the top teams. So maybe a team that might make a push just off schedule alone. If you want to schedule play, look at Georgia Tech. They avoid almost all the giants in the conference. It's only Clemson. From there, they play 7 of the bottom 10 in the conference. So, with a good offensive line, a proven quarterback, running back duo there, Haynes King at quarterback, Brent Key, you get the most out of your roster with him as a head coach. So going off schedule alone, keep an eye on Georgia Tech to maybe make some noise and round into a contender.
You mentioned it. They get only get Clemson of the big guys, and that game is in Atlanta. So an opportunity, and it's early too. It's September 13th. So all good recipe there for Georgia Tech if anything crazy could happen in that matchup with Clemson. All right, Brett, before we let you go, I want to go to week 1, and I want to go to that Thursday night in Kansas City, Missouri for a neutral site game that I don't think is going to play as a neutral. Nebraska and Cincinnati. Nebraska has this super easy schedule that we talked about last week on the show. They're a 6.5-point favorite right now in this one against the Bearcats. The market actually bet Cincinnati, so it opened 7, now 6.5. Huskers, look, a 7.5 win total, but a schedule, Brett, that is very, very obtainable to rack up a lot of wins this year.
Absolutely, with Nebraska. I like them to cover that 6.5 spread in the opener. And here's why. They return a 5-star quarterback, Dylan Raiola. It's really rare for a 5-star to start as a true freshman. He went through it last year, some trials, some tribulations. I think he's going to come back a lot better here with the coordinator returning, Dana Holgerson. But what they did there is they got some talent around him here. They took starters off of Kentucky, from Cal at receiver, starters on the offensive line from Alabama and Notre Dame up front. So they put some key transfers all around them. So I think you're going to see a very improved offense this year from Nebraska. And yeah, I think they cover that. I think they win Thursday night. And then, yeah, if you look at that schedule, it's easy to talk yourself into an 8-0 start. I know there's going to be some one-score games in there, and historically they're terrible in one-score games, but this is now Matt Rule. This isn't Mike Riley. This isn't Scott Frost. It's the 3rd year under Matt Rule. He's done it at Temple. He's done it at Baylor. So you're just waiting for that Rule boom here in year 3. So very manageable schedule. I agree with you. They got to take care of business in October, but I like the 7.5 wins. We're going to learn a lot Thursday night if they're for real. So, but I like them to cover in the opener and make a nice run.
Brett, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but I do just want to know who comes to your mind first. I like in your book you use a lot second-year bonus with head coaches or coordinators or quarterbacks. Last year it was Kenny Dillingham, right? And none of us even really noticed. Who do you like this year, maybe head coach, to really turn the program around and we see the benefits? I guess Bama could kind of fit in that. But anybody else that you like?
Yeah, well, you're right. That's one of my terms I keep using, but it's valuable. It's a good predictor. You see, and you talk to head coaches, you talk to coordinators. They love that second year because by now they have 90% of their offense or defense installed. The players know the schemes. They know their players and how to fit them in. It's also another round of recruiting and transfers. They have their guys in the building finally. So I do talk about that a lot. It's funny, but it's a good predictor year to year. For second year bonus, yeah, Bama fits that category. But I'll go to Seattle with Washington, with Jed Fish coming up from Arizona now, his second year. In fact, he stole a lot of his Arizona players with him. He brought his all-conference guys from Tucson up to Seattle. So look for a boost up there for him. And then I'll throw you that third-year boost. It's rare to go third year, but Matt Rule, he needs an extra year to get it done, and I think you'll find that at Nebraska. So Bama, Washington, Matt Rule, Nebraska. Yeah, a lot of picks all over the country for that.
Great stuff.
Yeah, Washington, one of those teams that I know everyone's trying to find the quote-unquote next Indiana after last year. Keep hearing Washington a lot, and it was Illinois before the AP poll decided to rank Illinois 12th, and now I want to fade them at every single turn, even though I still like that roster a little bit up in Champaign. He's Brett Ciancia. You can get the magazine that Alex has right there. Pick Six Previews, available now. It's an amazing book for that is going to help both of us win some bets going into the year, or even if you're just to want to learn more about these teams going into the year. Pick it up today. Go online, pick6previews.com to get your copy today. Brett, it was great to catch up with you. Thanks for being with us, and we're looking forward to a great college football season.
Oh, thanks for having me anytime, guys. And yeah, good luck this fall. It's going to be a fun one.
Absolutely. Brett Ciancia, everyone. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, whiteboard, trivia question, when we finish things up here on a Monday. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas, the South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now.
Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. Bingo! And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books, 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Del Mar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza. Plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the race book. Over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. Big thanks to Brent Ciancia for joining us here today. Pick Six Previews. the magazine. That preview is as in-depth as there is any college football preview. You saw Alex has highlighted the whole thing already. So great. Always talking to Brett. Sure, we'll get him back mid-season as well.
Definitely.
All right, let's get the trivia question. On this date here in 1931, Lou Gehrig, I think we all have heard of him, played his 1,000th consecutive Major League Baseball well on his way to 2130 consecutive games. Who is the only player to have passed Gehrig's record to date, and how many games did he play consecutively? Well, the first part of the question is the easy part. That's, of course, Cal Ripken Jr., who, of course, shattered the record when it was all said and done. 2632 is the record, and quite frankly, that record will never be broken in this day and age in Major League Baseball for Cal Ripken Jr., who broke the record. Became the new record on September 6th in 1995, became the new record holder that day. And Nick got it done. So Nick, the winner, we are now tied with Nick and JR heading into the final 9 days of the month, Alex White.
Wow, rubber match. Here we go.
Yeah, not yet. If it's the two of them winning, we will not have a tie.
That's true.
Unless if Vince comes in there if Vince comes in there and wins one, we might have a tie. Vince, we might have to make them a little bit simpler so we don't have a tie over the next 9 days to wrap up the month. All right, Alex.
I'm ready.
Whiteboard time here on a Monday. Pretty full baseball card. Game 1 of that double dip in Chicago going to get going with the Cubs and the Brewers in about 20 minutes. But here we go. Alex White's whiteboard here on Monday the 18th.
A little bit of everything, too. So I'm going with an under to start off here with the Giants and the Padres. I think we can stay under that total of 7.5. Robbie Ray and Nestor Cortez on the bump. I lied at it. It's not two-way action because my original bet was the Orioles first 5. I think minus 115 with Trevor Rogers. Am I saying that right? Yes. Yep. Trevor Rogers on the mound is a great price for them to have the lead after 5. And then the Red Sox, if they want to make a comeback, I could see that happening. Mariners and Phillies, let's just get some runs here between these two. We're going over 7.5. Both pitchers have struggled a little bit as of late, and Gilbert much better at home. They will be on the road in this one. So that's it for me.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense to me. And I'll just say this. We're down the home stretch. Major League Baseball. We got 6 weeks to go. It'll be a lot of high-end action over the rest of the way. And again, for the Padres, got to get it done after getting swept in L.A. over the weekend by the Dodgers.
Yes.
All right? That's what we got for you here on a Monday. You and I are back tomorrow. Full cards on Tuesday and Wednesday for baseball. Our guy, Dwayne Colucci, joins us on Thursday this week. And, of course, Friday, moving forward, 2 shows. The normal 10 a.m. show will be a capsule of the day coming forward. And then at 12 noon, Alex, myself, Vinny, and Chris, Football Frenzy on a Friday is back starting this Friday at noon right here on the Sports by the Book channel here at the South Point studio.
Appreciate everybody watching our NFL previews. Mm-hmm. Please continue to do that. I believe we have one coming out today, Ryan.
We are finishing the records this week as well. So we're well on our way. They'll all be readily available before the NFL season right here on the Sports by the Book channel. She's Alex. I'm Jeff. Of course, thanks to the crew, Ryan, Drew Dog, Ann, and Jerry and Vince here today. And Sean, can't forget Sean, even on his off day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.